Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Kathleen Hawkins, your proud president and founder of WOAMTEC. I am so excited to be here and to celebrate 2015 and all the great blessings that I believe God is going to bestow on each and every one of you this new year. This is our year to shine. Every single one of you. We're excited to share today some great speakers, some fabulous WOAMTEC members. We're going to talk about how to just embrace yourself, inspire others, make a difference, and be the best you can possibly be. You know, speaking about making a difference, I'm also excited to tell you that tomorrow night we have our biggest fundraiser of the year. Tomorrow night here in Winter Park, Florida. So if you are a Central Floridian and you're watching the show today, please come out and join us. For a $15 donation, you will be able to participate in an event with a live entertainment, beer, wine, water, lots of food, and lots of fun. Fellowship with many people from all over Central Florida, and live entertainment. I'm so excited that just today we confirmed the Mikes, who perform frequently at House of Blues, are going to be performing for us tomorrow from 6 to 8. The silent auction ends at 8:30, so it's just going to be a fabulous event. Come on out and help us make a difference in the life of a foster child. The reason we're doing this event is because we are also holding in 2015, our first ever annual Courage to Dream Youth Summit, sponsored by the WOAMTEC Foundation. We have invited every child in Orange, Osceola, Seminole, Volusia County, and Lake County that is in the foster care system, that is aging out of foster care. Now, if you're not in the foster care world, if you've never adopted children like my husband and I, you might not know what it means to age out. A child that ages out of foster care has accepted the fact that they will never be adopted, has accepted the fact that they will never find a forever family they can call their own, and they're on their own, and we want to let them know that they're not, that we're here to help them, we're here to mentor them, to support them, and to let them know that with the help of others and by surrounding themselves with other positive professional people, they too can have the courage to dream and make their tomorrow a better day, to break the cycle of victimization. These children have been abused, neglected, or abandoned through no fault of their own, and they need the community to support them. So whether you're here in Central Florida or anywhere in the United States, it's my dream, it's my passion that we do this first ever youth summit here on February 16th, but then we take the summit all across the United States of America. And with God's help, WOAMTEC chapters can continue to open nationwide, and we can then continue to work with our members and our directors across the USA and really help make a difference with these children's lives and break the cycle of victimization for foster children everywhere in America. If you're interested in helping, there are several different ways you can help. We are looking for items to go in the goodie bags. Every child that attends the conference will receive a Courage to Dream t-shirt, a backpack, a pen, a notebook, and we're looking for other items to go in there. And if you're sitting there watching saying, I don't know what I can donate, I can tell you I've worked with these young adults quite a bit. And even though they're 16 or 17, I've seen them get excited about items in our treasure chest, in our photography studio. And it could be a sticker, it could be a bracelet, it can be a pen. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have nothing, you treasure everything. So we're looking for items to go in the goodie bags. We're looking for items to give away. We want to give away prizes. We're not dumb. We understand to get 200, 400 teenagers to come to an event and spend all day there on their day off, that we kind of have to bribe them a little bit. So we need your help. We want to give away bicycles. We want to give away prizes. I know I've got somebody that's giving away a food processor and going to talk about nutritional eating and hopefully have some shake stuff to go with it. So we're looking for all sorts of things that you think a child between ages of 16 and 21 could use, somebody that doesn't have a parent, that hasn't been taught basic life skills. If you can help us make that happen, we would appreciate you. WOAMTEC Foundation is a nonprofit. We are a licensed 501c3, so your donation would be completely tax deductible, and we welcome any support. If you don't know about the foundation, please take a moment and visit WOAMTECfoundation.org. That's WOAMTEC foundation.org. If you missed that website, you can always go to Facebook and go to the main WOAMTEC group page on Facebook and ask Tanya Roller. She's on there now and she's ready to chat with you and answer any questions you have completely throughout the show. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce my very first guest. I'm so excited to have her here today. She drove all the way from Ocala, Florida, and she's an amazing woman. I had the pleasure of doing a business assessment with her and learning about her fabulous business and how she's making a difference in the lives of others and how she can help you make 2015 the best year you can ever have. have. So, hi, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure, and thanks for driving all the way down or over or whatever way it was.
Absolutely.
Why don't you take a moment and tell everybody who you are and a little bit about what you do and what your company is all about.
Okay, well, I'm Jean Henningsen of jeanhenningsen.com, and I help professional women be both have a wonderful, wildly successful career, but then also have a fulfilling personal life. And that's really, really challenging for most women. They feel like they have to choose one or the other. So I help them resolve that conflict so that they can have a great career, but they can also have a personal life.
You know, I think that's awesome. And one of the things that I admired the most about your business, which is why I asked you to be on the show today, was that I meet lots of consultants. I mean, I talk to consultants all over the country.
I'm sure.
A lot of them, you don't have to get licensed to call yourself a consultant.
No.
So a lot of them don't really have businesses. They're looking for something to do. And let's face it, everybody likes to tell people what to do and give them advice. But what I admired about you is you really knew what you were doing. You have a talent, you have a skill, and you're bridging the gap in people's lives consistently. And that's awesome. So talk a little bit about, well, I know you have a free webinar tomorrow, which is exciting. Tell everybody a little bit about that webinar.
Yes, so the webinar is 7 steps to creating a wildly successful career and a fulfilling personal life. And what it is the 7 steps that I've taken so many clients through over and over and over again. And so I finally decided to package it for the first time into a program. So I'm going to be sharing the highlights of that tomorrow night. So I'm really excited about that.
Well, and you know what I'm most excited about is it's a free webinar. So this is an immediate benefit from you today. So you need to make sure you get the information for that. And you know, that's another thing that I've learned quite frequently is consultants that have a tendency of charging for everything they do and never providing some complimentary education are usually in the business to make money, and we're all in business to make money, but more to make money than they are to support people or to make a difference in people's lives. So I love the fact that it's a free webinar or a complimentary webinar, and it's also a great way for them to get to know you and you to get to know them to see if there's other ways that you can work together.
Yes, definitely. And I'm going to do Q&A at the end and some on-the-spot coaching, and I absolutely love that because sometimes a woman just has one specific issue that she just needs to get unstuck, you know, to move her forward.
So tell me a little bit about this seminar, this webinar, and what are some of the things, you said to get wildly successful, and that's awesome, we all want that, but what are some of the takeaways that somebody may be able to take away if they tune in and listen tomorrow?
Yes, absolutely. The one thing that I really learned through my clients are great teachers for me, is that creating a vision or a dream about what it is that they want, and even if they create a vision board and they put it up in their office and they look at it every day, if they have chaos, clutter, toxic people, just conflict in their lives, it's not going to go very far. And so I am a big believer in vision boards. I create one every year. I love them. But that's the step that I used to start with, and now I don't. And now I start with, you have to clear out the physical clutter. You have to let go and release situations and people in your life that aren't serving you. And that's the only way that you're really going to be able to invite the divine intervention, divine guidance in order to do what it is that you were intended to do in this world.
Yeah. You know, and I believe in vision boards 100%, and I teach that often because if you don't know what you're working on, it's not going to happen by chance. You know what I mean? You have to have a clear mission, and that's part of why business plans and marketing strategies are so important, because you know what you're trying to accomplish. But you're exactly right. If you have negative energy in your life, that it's very draining. It can take a lot out of you, and if you don't have anything redepositing into you, it's hard to stay motivated, which is important. How did you end up here? Like, what brought you into this type of business?
So many people ask me that question. I started out as a consultant, actually. I have a degree in industrial organizational psychology, which is a fancy word for business psychology. So I was an HR consultant for a number of years, and I loved it. I traveled all over, got to meet a lot of people. I grew professionally and personally, but I didn't feel like I was making a difference in individuals' lives. So that's when I found coaching. And then specifically, I started working with women when I had my own breakdown, which led to a breakthrough, as they always do. And it was when I had my daughter, and she was about 2 years old, and I'm coaching, and she's at preschool. My husband has a very demanding job. There was a lot going on in my life. And one day, after coaching all day and picking her up from preschool, managing her needs, putting her down for her nap, I was exhausted. I was so tired. And I'm like, I need something. I've been giving all day. I need somebody to give to me. Who's going to give to me? And I started sobbing in front of the kitchen sink, doing the dishes and trying to get dinner prepared. And I ended up in one of those ugly cries, like Oprah says. And when I recovered from it, I realized that I'm the one that needs to give to me. I'm the one that needs to take care of me. Nobody else is going to do that for me. So that was kind of the beginning of my being just even more passionate about helping women, because the more I told my story and I talked to women about it, the more I realized I wasn't alone.
Absolutely.
That they feel very much the same way.
Absolutely. So I think the first thing is to analyze if you're somebody and you're out there, no matter where you're at, and you're feeling like you're feeling empty, you're feeling drained, you're feeling exhausted,
yes,
then there's something that needs to shift. You need to have a shift or a change in your life, because you can be busy. Everybody I know that's successful are very, very busy in everything they do. So you can juggle and you can keep balance in your life and still make your kids a priority and
absolutely
take off every evening and be with them every weekend, and do things like that. If you know how to manage your life, and if you know how to institute some strong, I think, principles and philosophies, and just core beliefs, to your mission and what you're doing. So what are some of the biggest challenges that you've seen that you've helped women overcome?
Some of the biggest challenges are setting boundaries, whether that be personally or professionally. Asking for what they want, having that voice and not being afraid to speak up. It takes a lot of courage to do that. Feeling guilty about, oh, I need to spend more time at work. Oh, no, I want to spend more time at home, whether it be with a spouse or with kids or whatever. Those are a lot of the issues. And honestly, going back to the exhausted piece, really being tired and trying to manage that, because they want to have energy for their children or for their personal life. They want to be able to work out. They want to have all those things, but they just feel like they don't have time and they don't have the energy to do so.
Add in hormones and a midlife crisis, and we're all messed up. We don't have a shot. Okay, so you're doing this webinar. How do they get onto this webinar, or how do they participate if they want to participate?
They need to go to charmedlifebydesign.com. And there you will see all of the information about the webinar, everything that I'm going to cover. And you just click yes, please, down at the bottom, and give me your first name and email address, and you'll be registered.
That's awesome. And if they are interested, if they recognize the fact that I need someone to help me get unstuck, I need someone to kind of talk, I need to talk to somebody about how I'm feeling.
Absolutely.
What are some of the services that you provide beyond doing this one webinar?
Yes. Well, through the webinar, if you come to the webinar, I am launching this 7-step program, which I just packaged, which I'm really excited about. So I'm going to have a 7-step, 7-week program related to the webinar. So that is an opportunity to work with me. If you want to have one-on-one time with me just to help get unstuck, then you can go to getacquaintedwithjeanne.com. My name has kind of a funky spelling. It's Jeanne. And I will be happy to spend 30 minutes with you and try to get you moving in the right direction.
That's awesome. That is terrific. Well, I think we all sometimes need somebody else to just help guide us, to help us take our blinders off, to help us see things that we might not be seeing, because we are emotionally involved. And WOAMTEC was started purely out of the guilt that I was feeling about not being the mother that I thought I needed to be when I finally was blessed with children and we adopted our kids. And I remember feeling a tremendous amount of guilt and a tremendous amount of pressure and needing to find a support system. So that's what your WOAMTEC sisters are here for you to do, is to be your support system and to help you reach your goals and to help you be the things that we know that you are perfectly capable of becoming. Do you have any other advice that you think is important to share with somebody who may be watching, a woman that may be busy or stressed or frazzled, based upon what you've personally experienced or what you've worked with other women who experience? Do you have any other advice or suggestions that you might have for them?
Yes, well, I have a lot.
Okay.
But one that I hear myself saying over and over again is looking within. Because so often we believe that our problems are outside of us, and that if we just change our situation or we get rid of people in our life, then that is end all be all, then my problem is solved. And even though that is part of my process, like I mentioned, that I have them clear the clutter and remove toxic people, there's still something going on within you that was attracting that to you in the first place. And it's much more beneficial to your ultimate long-term success if you resolve that within you, whatever it is. Because you could leave a job because you can't stand your boss, and then you end up working for another company and you feel like you have the same boss all over again.
Right, absolutely. Or leave your husband and then end up with another one and have the same problem.
Same problems, yes, definitely.
Which is important. I think that's awesome, and that's part of the reason why we also have a hypnotherapist that's on the show today that is going to talk to us a little bit about that too, about all the learned behaviors or patterns that we've picked up over the years that help make us who we are. And so it's important, like you said, to look at yourself first before you decide to make any drastic changes in your life, to look at who you are, look at what's going on, look at what you think affects you. And I think it's important to start with a coach, somebody else that you're educated, you're trained, you've worked with people, and I think it's important that we do lean on others for helping us see our flaws or our imperfections or our emotions when we're so emotional we can't see it ourselves, which is critical.
Yes,
So.
the outside perspective is critical. Yeah, what you just said. Because so often people say to me, why hire a coach when I have a best friend? It's not the same.
It's not the same, especially when your best friend is not going to probably be objective because, again, there's emotions that are involved that's there. So you came all the way from Ocala, which is awesome. And Lita, we love her. Shout out to Lita. Thank you so very much for being an awesome director. What has your WOAMTEC experience been like so far?
It's been wonderful. I've met some really wonderful women. I was just talking to a woman the other day who's a WOAMTEC member, and we were sharing all the friends that we've made. So on top of business connections, it's a great way to get connected to other women and have that support. And we all struggle with different issues with our businesses, and we're not unique. We all share a lot of the same issues. So it's really nice to have that common thread, that camaraderie with each other. And
you, as I mentioned at the beginning, we've done a business assessment together. That's one of the bigger benefits of being a WOAMTEC member, and I struggle to get people to sign up to do the business assessment.
I don't understand that.
As a coach yourself, and you took the time to do it, and it's funny because coaches and consultants usually do reach out and do it. I think they want to see what we're doing and stuff like that. Why would you recommend that somebody might want to take advantage and do one of their assessments?
Well, it's just silly not to take advantage of it, because Kathleen spends a whole hour with you on the phone, and she asked some really great questions. And honestly, when I first filled out the questionnaire, I was a little hesitant because I thought, who's going to see this? Because she asked some really personal questions. So it's totally confidential if that's your hesitancy. And then when I was on the phone with her, again, all the questions that you asked me really got me to think more deeply about my business and what it is that I want from my business. And then you had some great ideas for how I can market and how I can get my message out there and reach the women that I'm intended to serve. And those are pieces that, I'm really good at what I do, but marketing is not my forte. That's not what I went to school for. So to get your perspective, outside perspective on my business, really not having known me at all, it was just really incredible. And then you get a report, which was like amazing. I'm like, you're kidding, because I'm taking notes the whole time. And then finally at some point you said, don't take notes, I'm going to send you a report. I'm like, what? So yeah, and you get an amazing report at the end with everything listed in there that you need to know. So
awesome.
Yes,
well, thank
absolutely.
you. I respect that coming from you, because I respect your business and what you do. And I didn't pay her to say that, just so you know. I had no idea what she was going to say at that response, but I appreciate that. And I want to get to know you. I can't help you if I don't get to know you. I don't know what to fix if I don't get to know you. So, I think, like you said, my business, my master's is in business, my minor's in marketing. So that is what I went to school for.
Yes.
And, I can work with people that have a forte, have a talent, and it doesn't matter if it's photography or if it's coaching and consulting or if it's being a doctor. You don't study the types of courses that I studied and taught for many years.
Yes.
So it's something amazing. When you teach, you memorize textbooks. It definitely helps. Everybody should be a teacher, I think, or a coach, or consult, because you're saying the same things over and over again.
Right.
Okay. Well, I want to leave with one final thing, and
Yes.
if you want to share something else, you're more than welcome to. But I know how important vision boards are, and you mentioned that.
Yes.
And I think in January it's critical to do a vision board. And
Yes.
so I know we're not going to do a whole vision board workshop, but if you could give anybody any pointers on how to do a vision board, I think the biggest takeaway you can take from this besides signing up for her webinar, is doing a vision board in January. So you can see it, so you can own it, clarify it, define it, and know what you want to accomplish in 2015. So do you have any vision board advice?
Yes.
Again, not a workshop, but advice or tips that you give to people?
Yes, I do. I actually had a vision board party
Oh,
last
yay.
year, and I invited clients and former clients and friends and stuff. And before I had them over, I did some research, and I learned some things about vision boards, which was really helpful. And I don't have time to share all of it, but basically you have to create a vision board that works for you. So there's different kinds of vision boards. It can be a theme focused, or it can be more, this is everything that I want in 2015, or it can be, this is who I want to be more of, whether it be more confident, whatever your B word is. And then it has to be in a medium that you are going to visit over and over and over again throughout the year. So some people think that creating a poster board and hanging it up on your wall is just ridiculous. I'm never going to look at that. Then don't do it.
Right.
Create it on your computer, create a movie. And there's so many computer programs now where you can easily create a movie where you just take music and pictures and you bring it in. Books. Last year I created a book for the first time. And then you can actually open the book, you can prop it open like a sketchbook, and you can set it up in a prominent place on your desk or on your credenza across from you where you can see it.
That's awesome.
So you just have to find the venue that works for you, because I think for a long time we kept thinking it had to be a poster board. It had to be magazine cutouts on a poster board, and it doesn't.
And if you're the type of person that cringes because you just think hanging a poster board with magazine cutouts is tacky in your office,
Right.
You're not going to do it. I can relate to that.
Exactly.
So thank you for sharing that. That's an excellent tip and a wonderful pointer. And I can tell you that my husband and I taught for years that every single time we have ever done a vision board or even had a list of the top 10 things that we were working on and had a definite goal and timeline as to when we were going to accomplish it, every single time we've ever done that, we've always accomplished it before the date that we said we would. So there's something to that. There is something psychologically to that. And I'm sure
and you
can
have
talk
to
more
look
about
at it. You have to look at it. I did a workshop yesterday in Ocala, and this woman said, I did the vision board and it didn't work. And I said, well, where was your vision board? Well, it was in my closet. Well, it was on the door in her closet. Well, unless she opened the door to her closet, she never saw it. So if you don't look at it, then it doesn't make it more real. And I'm guessing you probably looked at that.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. That was just like with your to-do list. You look at your vision list and then you look at your to-do list side by side, which is important. Well, do you have any other, let's tell everybody how to get in touch with you one more time.
Okay.
And then if you have any other suggestions or tips that you want to take away with before we end the segment, we can go ahead and do that now. But you've been a joy and a pleasure. And I'm so disappointed that our fundraiser's tomorrow night.
I know.
Because I would love to sign up to attend your webinar.
Well, you still can, because you can get the recording.
Oh, yay.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so even if you're not available tomorrow night, you can still get the recording, which is awesome. So how do we just go to tell us how again?
Yes. So go to charmedlifebydesign.com, and that takes you directly to the page, which tells you about the webinar. You click yes, please, put in your first name, your email, and you'll be signed up for that. If you want some one-on-one time with me, I would love to talk with you, and that's getacquaintedwithjean.com. And if you just want to get on my mailing list, I have 7 strategies to regain balance, which is my free gift, and you just go to jeanhenningsen.com. And that's where that lives.
Thank you so much, Jean. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Kathleen.
It was a pleasure to have you here. And one thing that I can tell you for sure is just like she said, to take advantage of the business assessment call with me, and missing that opportunity is huge. Missing the opportunity to get to know her for the free opportunities especially are critical. So you want to make sure that you take advantage of that as quickly as you possibly can. So now before we get on to our next guest, I do want to take a moment and talk a little bit about some of the things that are happening here with WOAMTEC Corporate. If you know of somebody, and I favor real estate professionals, I can tell you, because we have found that real estate professionals make incredible directors. Shout out to Kiki and Tanya and Gina Mounts and all my real estate directors that are out there, Misty Spencer. But we have found that real estate professionals make great WOAMTEC directors. In order to continue our mission in 2015, we are now hiring executive directors throughout the country. It is a part-time position. It takes anywhere between 8 to 12 hours a month to run and lead and market your chapter. And we are looking for directors that could get excited about gaining friends, making a difference in people's lives, surrounding themselves with positive, professional, passionate women who want to make a difference in their lives and their community and make an impact. And we are now hiring. So if you refer us to somebody that becomes a WOAMTEC director, it could create a tremendous amount of free advertising opportunity for you, but it can also create a revenue opportunity for them. So please, please, please have them go to WOAMTEC.com. You can click Become a Director and learn more, or just pick up the phone and call us at 866-757-2611, and we would love to get to know you a little bit better. You don't have to be a real estate professional. We'll talk to anybody, but just take a look at all the realtors you have in your database and see if they might get excited about making extra income on a monthly basis, but more importantly, creating a networking opportunity where they can be an authoritative figure within their community and get a lot more new girlfriends and some awesome guy friends as well, of course. Men are always welcome in WOAMTEC. Women are required, but men are always welcome. Now I would like to introduce my next guest, who is going to stay with our theme about making the new year the best year ever for you for 2015. You know, just like we were talking about, quit self-sabotaging yourself, getting rid of the junk, making a difference in your life, you know, understanding what you're working on and what the negative impact can happen in your life. A lot of times all of those things create a negative feeling inside, and then eventually we start doing things like eating to satisfy our sorrows, I guess, not taking time to exercise because we feel guilty about it or because we don't know how to put balance in our life and manage our time. And then before you know it, and I can attest because I was there myself, before you know it, you're 30 pounds overweight and you're miserable, your marriage isn't as happy as it used to be, you don't have the energy to do the things that you could do, and you're not making good food choices with what you eat. You're making fast food choices, like literally fast food. Anyways, our next guest is going to talk to us a little bit about how to change that, make a difference, and challenge your life to make 2015 a healthier new year as well as a happy one. So thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure having you.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure.
Such
my
a
pleasure.
blessing.
Okay, tell everybody who you are and a
Okay.
little bit about what you do.
Okay, well, I am Alicia Kaufman, and I promote the Project 10 Challenge, and am very involved in the Project 10 Kids charity program.
Okay, that's wonderful. And Project 10 is a challenge that's derived from where?
From Visalis Sciences. So it's
Okay.
connected to Visalis that has helped people lose millions and millions of pounds since 2010.
That's wonderful. Well,
Yep.
let's talk a little bit about Project 10 because I think that's exciting. I think what you're doing is exciting. But then I also want to talk a little bit about the Vi Challenge.
Okay.
So what is Project 10?
Project 10 is a program historically that challenged people to lose 10 pounds or gain 10 pounds of lean muscle. And when they did that, we would support a child in need through a local food pantry with 30 meals. Now what we are doing, and this was just unveiled on Monday evening, it's going to be 90 meals,
Oh, wow.
snacks, and beverages from our Visalis Sciences pantry, so
Okay,
to speak.
so for every 10 pounds you lose, you're going to help feed 90 kids that need help.
We're going to send 90 meals,
packets.
snacks, and beverages
Okay.
to a local food pantry.
So that's wonderful. So losing weight makes a difference in your community. How awesome is that?
Yep,
You know, that's
yep.
a motivator yourself, and I'm sure the food pantries need it desperately.
Yes, they do. In fact, food pantries find that the most difficult thing for them to keep in stock are non-perishable proteins.
Okay.
And unfortunately, they're filled up with high carbs and all of the things that make people gain weight and have problems with heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and all of that.
It's true when you're trying to eat on a budget. You know, a lot of times you do lean towards the things that aren't so healthy. You know,
That's right.
Not the fresh fruit and vegetables and
That's
you know
right.
low protein or high protein meats and stuff like that. So, all right, tell me a little bit about the Project 10. If they wanted to participate in that, what would they have to do?
What would they do? Well, they would join the challenge. They can actually go to my website, myjeansfitagain.com.
I love it. My jeans fit again. Okay, awesome.
Yep. And there's information there on the challenge. There's a video. There are tons of before and after pictures. And then there's a place where they can fill out their information. There's a gray box on the right-hand side. And I know a lot of times that makes people think, oh, no, I'm going to be bombarded. But that's not how it'll be. It'll go directly to me, and I can I'll have their information, and I can text them, call them, email them, whatever works best to help them get started with the challenge.
How much does it cost to get started with the challenge, though? Is there an
It
investment, or you just sign up?
It varies in price.
Okay.
We have challenge kits, so we encourage people to choose a challenge kit. And they run anywhere from $1.50 a meal or up to $4 a meal.
Okay. So you buy a kit, you go on the challenge, you commit to losing the weight, and then every 10 pounds you lose, you reward a child in
That
need
is
or a
correct.
family in need.
That
which
is correct.
Important. That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. Now, why did you get in this passion, and what have you learned or discovered about people who are overweight once they do get fit, once they do lose the weight? What are your personal experiences?
My personal experience as far as how I got involved in this was when I was 17 years old. First of all, my whole life I was told I was too skinny. And when I was 17, I was my most athletic. And I had gained 25 pounds my senior year of high school. And that was because I learned to drive, and I was eating out at fast food like 4 or 5 times a week, going through the drive-through or hanging out with friends. I mean, what does a decent kid do to have fun? They get together with their friends to eat, and back then the place that everybody went to was McDonald's.
Right.
So I would get my Big Mac, my French fries, and chocolate milkshake, and 25 pounds later, I didn't feel good about myself. None of my clothes fit. I felt insecure. And when I discovered how to lose weight by living a healthier lifestyle, I thought someday I'm going to have a ministry to help people not have to go through what I went through. So I began teaching health food luncheons, and I did that for 10 years, teaching stay-at-home moms how to cook better meals for their family. And what I found was that so many of the women would say, this is the best meal I had all month, and then they talk about their husbands. But my husband's a picky eater, my kids are picky eaters, but I don't have the time, but it costs too much money. And so when I looked at the challenge, I thought, oh my goodness, this is the answer. Healthy fast food, tastes good, affordable. And so I started promoting the challenge, and I have seen hundreds and hundreds personally through my involvement lose weight, 4 people lose 100 pounds.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
that's life-changing. That is absolutely for sure life-changing. You know, one of the things that I can tell you is we've been on a mission for about a year and a half now where we've really tried to eat cleaner and make some life changes with our family. And my kids will even tell me to this day, like yesterday, Jeff and Michelle, my husband will verify this, just said, I don't think I can eat cafeteria food anymore. I got the pizza at school and it made me sick. And so she's noticing. My daughter went to my mom's house during during the summer last year. By day 4 of being there during the summer, she called and she said her stomach hurt so bad that she thought. And I said, "This is my test. Do I need to drive all the way down there, 3 hours away, pick you up, and rush you to the hospital?" And she said, "Yes, Mommy, I think." So I said, what's going on? So I said to my mom, "What have you been feeding her?" And it was all the either canned stuff or all the garbage that we used to eat because it was fast, cheap, and easy, and or pastas and you know, things that were high in carb, lasagna, things like that. And I was like, clean it up, you know, so stick to chicken and a vegetable and fruits, and see how she responds in 2 days. And 2 days later, she was perfectly fine.
Wow.
So your body does learn to react and reject the things that we grew up on. I mean, we grew up. Not all of us, but most of us grew up in, you know, the microwave age, the fast food age, the different things like that, and that's what we naturally just started pushing onto our children. But as you know, there is a problem with obesity with children all across America. So how do you think this challenge is going to help those kids?
Well, the challenge is going to help because, one, it raises awareness, and we are challenging adults to take care of themselves so that they can also be better parents. So that's one. The other, the fact that we have food pantries, local food pantries all over the United States, where people, when they lose the 10 pounds, they can go on and they can designate the food pantry that they would like to receive the meals.
Okay.
So
wonderful. So you can change your community and your life all at the same time, which is super exciting and an inspiration. And I promise you, when you look better, you'll feel better. When you feel better, you'll be more productive. When you're more productive, you'll be more successful, and your children will be happier, which is what life is all about. I really think so. So thank you so much for being here. Tell everybody again how they can get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with you and if they want to take on the challenge.
Okay. They can get in touch with me by visiting my website, myjeansfitagain.com and fill out the information that is on the, fill out the box that is on the right side of the web page, and let me have your information and I can contact you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you
All
here
right.
today. And oh wait, you wanted to show me something in the magazine.
Yes,
this
this
was cool.
is so exciting. This is Women's Health Magazine that just came out, and on page 60 there is a quote by Britney Spears, who says that she sips a blend of milk, ice, and Visalis shake mix before workouts. It's the one protein shake that actually tastes good.
That's wonderful.
And that is definitely true. So
wonderful, terrific. And Britney Spears, she's not too shabby. She looks pretty good.
Yes, she does. Look
Yeah,
pretty
I think
good.
so. Absolutely. Well, again, it was a pleasure, and
All right.
I thank you for being a great WOAMTEC member and for everything you do to help your chapter in Winter Park continue to be successful.
Well, thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Now what I'd like to talk to you about real quick is a few things that are coming up. I want to remind everybody that's a member that's watching right now to take the time to go to WOAMTEC.com to view the member-only discounts. You know, one of the best ways that you can begin to make more money in 2015 is to save money on things that you're spending. We used to use Constant Contact, for example, as a partner, and I just spoke with somebody the other day who uses Constant Contact, and it's a great company. I used them for years. The person I spoke to had 2,500 people in her database. I believe she was spending like $69. I can tell you I personally was spending $125. My price point now is down to $30 a month. Constant Contact's price point for the 2,500 people that the lady that was using Constant Contact has now gotten her price down to $19 a month by switching to a company that we have now partnered with called Robly, R-O-B-L-Y. Valentine's Day is coming up, and I'm not sure if you're looking for a laptop or you want to buy your sweetheart a tablet or a different type of computer, but we're also partners with Lenovo Computers. They have a wide range of computers. And I can tell you, I looked up a laptop the other day. Normally, if I were to buy this laptop at Best Buy or Office Depot, it was like $1,400. I was able to get it on the Lenovo website for $800 with my WOAMTEC member discount. So there are some great opportunities that are available for you, but take the time to log in and see it. View the entrepreneurial education. View the tips of the day. Make sure your profile is up to date, but more importantly, and this is a huge pet peeve of mine, so listen, make sure that you take the time to go to the member directory when you're logged in, because what you see as a member is entirely different than what you see when you're not a member. So when you're logged in, make sure you take the time to go to the member directory and click the link. Search for yourself and make sure your Facebook, your LinkedIn, make sure all the links actually work. Most of the members, when I go to the directory and I start clicking their links, the links are broken. They didn't type it in correctly. They didn't verify the link and the information. So it's my goal that I can help you make the most of your membership. And your membership is not just about sitting in a networking environment and just networking with the people that are in your room. Yeah, we love our chapters. We love Lita and Ocala and all of those different locations and all of our directors across the United States. But you can get so much more benefit by taking the time to join the national Facebook page, WOAMTEC Facebook page, and by developing relationships with different members, by scheduling speaking engagements where you can go to different chapters and visit different chapters and actually be a speaker and speak at those locations and expand your knowledge, expand your reach. It doesn't matter what type of business you're in. If the larger your tribe, the larger your supporters, the more people that know, like, and trust you, the more successful you're going to be. So use WOAMTEC National as your bridge to build your national brand and your national presence. And if you don't know why that's important, then I encourage you to schedule your business assessment with me, and I'll help you reveal the steps, the techniques, and the reasons it's critical. Now I'd like to introduce you to our last guest, and I'm excited about her because I just recently went through an experience similar to what she's going to talk to you about, and it's truly beneficial and very, sometimes I don't think a lot of people know about it, but it's something that everybody should know about. So thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate it. Also from Ocala, Florida, so thank you for driving down or over or both. Tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do.
It's my pleasure. I am Vicki Griffith with Breakthrough. I work with women entrepreneurs, business owners, direct sales, and healing professionals to eliminate self-sabotage so they can turn overwhelm into opportunity, fear into focus, and procrastination into profit. And I do that with a twist, which is different than most. I'm actually a certified hypnotist. So not only do we work on the practical, but we work on what is going on that you can't pick up the phone. or you can't go to the networking meeting, that's stopping you, that's sabotaging yourself from building the business that you desire and want.
Okay, first of all, that was an excellent 60 seconds.
Thank
So
you.
great job on that infomercial. I'm very impressed, and I think that's awesome. And that's what I was talking about. I just recently went to a certified hypnotist, and I thought it was amazing experience. I went not knowing what I was going to, but just like, hey, let me check this out. You know, if they can get rid of anxiety, then I need to get rid of anxiety. You
Right.
know? Great experience. And from talking to you, it sounds like it would be the same with you. Now, can you only work with people in Ocala, or can you work with people throughout the United States?
Well, that's also what makes me a little bit different, is I work exclusively over the phone or through Skype only.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. So you could be in your PJs and I wouldn't know it. Maybe I am too, so there you go.
You wouldn't know it, exactly. Okay, well that's good, because I think it would also be a little bit easier for people, because like just me leaving my office, driving all the way to somebody's place, spending time there, and then driving all the way back is going to create, I don't have time for that this week, I don't have time for that right now. But I would also think that people are more likely to be more authentic with you if there is a barrier. Like that's why I do our business assessments over the phone, because it's easier for me, the office jokes, it's easier for me to make people cry when it's over the phone, because they don't have to see my face. We're not like
Right,
this. There's not a
exactly.
wall or a shield. It's
Exactly.
real. You know, they don't know. So tell everybody what you do. Like, what is it? I went not knowing, having a clue. So how would you define what you do when you work with people?
As far as using the hypnosis piece. Okay, hypnosis is based on the theory that our subconscious mind controls everything that we do in our lives. Most people think it's our critical mind, and that's the one that's normally yakking at us all the time, giving us direction, sometimes misguided, but it's really our subconscious mind. And so what does the subconscious mind do? It harbors all your limiting beliefs or your belief systems. It harbors your values. It also takes care of the blink of your eye and your heartbeat. So it's all the things that are automatic. And what happens is that the emotions and the habits kind of get intertwined, because that's also what your subconscious mind controls. And so when you try to change a habit and the emotion is attached to it, it doesn't happen easily. That's why people fail so many times at changing their habits with eating, smoking, and even in business. If you have a limiting belief about something about yourself and you think, well, I'll just change that, I won't think that anymore, I won't do that. Yes, I'll go to that networking meeting, and it gets to Tuesday morning and you want to go to that networking meeting, but then your conscious mind goes, but you know, it would really be nice to sleep in this morning because you can't do it the rest of the week. And you know, we've got to go feed the dogs. And you know, and that's what self-sabotage is.
Okay, I think that's so critical, because I talk to people all the time and they have these goals, and it's funny, ironic would probably be a better word to me. In the beginning of the conversation, everything's perfect in their business, and when we're really getting down to it, and we start talking nitty gritty numbers like gross income, net income, and all those sorts of things, we start realizing, okay, what you said in the beginning is not really what the real picture is. So there's something there that you're connecting. And a lot of times I have to have the real conversation with people about, it's okay if you like to garden every day. It's okay if you want to be with your 3-year-old every day. But don't say you're going to make $500,000 and win a trip to Tahiti if you're gardening every day, because life doesn't work that way. And you have to realize how that negatively affects you. But it's probably, and this is speculation because it's your industry, not mine, it's probably those self-sabotaging doubts, fears, insecurities that are getting them to garden, because it's easier than overcoming whatever's stopping them. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely agree with that. There's a couple of things going on. So there's the subconscious mind with the limiting beliefs that says you're not good enough, that if you do become successful, somebody is going to abandon you in some way, that it's going to be a burden, which is big for a lot of people. But the biggest one is that I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough degrees or credentials. I don't have what it takes. I'm not going to be able to do it. And that's the biggest one that sabotages business owners.
How would you, if somebody's watching right now and they can relate to that feeling, or they're like, you know what, it's true, I'm there. Like, I have this thing that's holding me back and I can feel it, and I'm sick of spinning that wheel and not getting to the next level. What would you recommend they do? Would you recommend they call you? How would you help them?
I actually do have a free, no obligation, what I call an abundance assessment, because everything in our life is about abundance. And we will chat about what's going on for you, what's right, what's wrong, what we can change and what are the next steps. And you can do that at contacting me at vicky@break-through.org or break-through.org and fill out the information to get me your email address.
Okay, so that's free. Now, what would they
It's free.
benefit from taking advantage and getting that free thing? Give them an idea of something that's in it.
You can't make a change, and there's a quote that says you can't change something until something changes, and you can't make that something change until you're aware of what's going on. And just like with your assessments that you do, many people don't even know that they have these belief systems going underneath the excuses as to, yes, I'd rather garden. And it's beautiful to be with their 4-year-old. However, maybe there's some reason behind wanting to stay in that place, stay stuck. That's why I wrote the book, Stuck Up. But you stay stuck in that space, in that rut, in that belief system. And it's kind of crazy, scary that some people would stay in the misery rather than get out of that comfort zone. And that's what I can help people do, is get out into making that next step comfortable and safe.
That's important. And I didn't know you wrote a book. So
Yes,
tell
I
me about
did.
the book. That's awesome.
Actually,
I want it. I want it.
Actually, I have an Amazon bestseller, and it's called Stuck Up, A Breakthrough Path to Unstuck.
Okay. Tanya, make a note of that. I want that book. I want to go online and buy it. That's wonderful. Well,
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
Good. We'll have to have you speak at a conference, too, because you've
I
got
love that.
so much interesting to share, which is important. So if somebody is stuck and they know that they're stuck, they can go on Amazon and buy your book. They
Absolutely.
can reach out to you. They can get your free assessment.
Yes.
No, you didn't call it an assessment.
It's an abundance assessment.
Abundance assessment, yes,
Yeah.
that's right. What are some of the other tips or suggestions or advice that you would give somebody that's viewing today that may not even feel like they're stuck, but you can still help them make a better 2015? Is there any other advice you would give for them?
Oh, absolutely. Be aware of what you're thinking. That's the very first step. Be aware of your thoughts. And just notice them. You don't have to judge them. You don't have to criticize them. Just notice what those thoughts are. Are they negative? Are they supporting you? Are they positive? And then filter out the negative ones. The ones that aren't supporting you, you don't need them anymore. They're not helping you. And you can do that with a real simple technique, and that's just to say no. No, I'm not listening to that anymore. That's all you have to do. That's the first step. Notice and then say no.
Is there a difference when you verbally say no out loud or when you say it in your mind?
Yes.
Okay.
I've screamed it at myself sometimes to be able to take myself out of that zone, that focus of negativity. So I've had to actually physically scream it out loud so that it would take me out of that.
Okay. And I didn't tell you we were going to talk about this, but while you're talking, I'm just going to throw this out there and see what your
Sure.
response is. I have discovered recently, like just within the past years, and I used to have a job where I traveled the entire state of Florida all the time, but in the past few years, I have a terrible anxiety all of a sudden about driving. What would all of a sudden change somebody to create an anxiety? And how would you work with somebody that might have an anxiety that they're now aware of that hasn't been something they lived with their whole life? Like public speaking, people have had that anxiety forever. You know, doing different things. But why do we get new anxieties? And how could your services help them?
Most of our belief systems are started at a very young age, so it could be that it's been something that's been in the background and perhaps has manifested in a different area in your life. So that's a possibility. Another possibility is that something triggered it. Whether it is, again, something in your past or something new. I've had corporate executives who had a lousy boss and all of a sudden created panic attacks because of the humiliation they were feeling from the boss. So obviously that may have been something from a childhood, but it was actually an event that happened in real life in their time, in that time of working. So it could be either or type of scenario. It could be something that's always been in the background, or it could be something that's kind of brand new. But there was a trigger. Something triggered that anxiety.
Okay.
And it's very, very easy to move through that.
Okay, so focus on what you're saying to yourself, what you're thinking, okay, being real with that, and then what you're feeling. And if you're
Absolutely.
feeling something that's new or that's different, it's no different than going to a coach. I mean, I can see the benefits of both, of using both, because you help, like you said, with the subconscious mind, where the coach would help more with your physical decisions and your presence and your actions, and you come to fruition. And I want to really drive home the point that it's not even just, like you mentioned, the fear of going to the networking organization or having something distract you from not going to that. But it's also going to it and then not stepping out of your comfort zone while you're there. If you're sitting with the same people and not talking to anybody while you're there, it really just doesn't do you any good. It's a time waster, it's a revenue waster, and it's not going to lead you to the results that you need. So when you walk into a room and you get that nervous feeling and are afraid to walk up to somebody, that could be something that hypnotherapy might be able to help you with, you know, overcoming that anxiety and what's the worst that's going to happen and why do you feel that way? How does that make you feel? So I really appreciate you being here today and coming down from Ocala. I'm serious about having you as a conference speaker or doing something with one of our events, and I just appreciate it very much, and I'm definitely going to purchase your book. So thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a blessed day.
You as well.
And for all of you, have a blessed day. I want to really encourage you just to continue to take a look at what do you want. Bring what you want to fruition. Bring what you want to action. Be real with, like she said, with what you're feeling and what you're doing and what you're thinking, and realize that, you know, you can make a difference. You are the person that's in charge of this. Nobody else can hold you back unless you hold yourself. You know, you can either wish for success or you can make it happen. And I believe in making it happen, because that's what we're all supposed to do, is fulfill the passions that have been instilled in us and be the people that we're supposed to be. Again, Happy New Year. Thank you very much. I wish each and every one of you the best of luck. I hope to have your support with the Youth Summit. I look forward to your referrals for new directors as we launch chapters across the United States. And I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you when we do your annual business assessment. Take care and God bless, and I'll see you next month.